Hello Salesforce lovers, I welcome you all to SFDCGM YouTube channel. This is the second video of Aura component series. So if you haven't checked the first video, please check it out. The link is in the description. You can also find this link in the I button. So let's talk about the agenda first. So in this video, we will try to create our first lightning component. Okay, we will see how we can create it using your developer console. Well, in today's video, I will only show you how we can create it with the help of developer console. In the further session, we will show how we can create it through other IDs like SFDX, like Visual Studio Code and others. Okay, we will see these things. And since it is a project specific course, we will show you how the component that the first component that we will create, it will not gonna be a hello world kind of component. It will be a list view. Okay, list view means it will contain the information of all contacts. Okay, we will create it through our coding. All right, and then we will check how we can use this list view in our applications, like in sales applications, service applications. We will see how we can use that so that other users can view it. And in the end of the session, we will check how we can make this component generic. That means like in this point, we are going to create a component for contact, right? But what if someone tell you to create the component for account, then probably you need to rewrite this code, right? So we will see as a best practices how we can use the same code. All right, okay, let's quickly jump to the Salesforce and see how we can do that. All right, so as you can see, I have a login in one of my developer org. You can create your own org and log in it, and then you need to click here, and this will open your developer console. I have already opened it. Okay, so before we talk about developer console, let's see how we can create a component first. Okay, for that you need to click on the file, and here you will see the new option, and here it is written you need to create a lightning component. You will find all those things. Click on the lightning component. All right, it will ask you to name something. Okay, you can name it anything, but please make sure you follow your nomenclature that is provided for your company. In most of the cases, we follow the camel case nomenclature. That means the first letter will always be capital. Like example, I'm creating a list view and I'm naming it to the list view. Okay, next is the description. This is used to write something about your component. You can write anything, but it makes sure whatever you write, when someone else in your team see that, it can be helpful for them to identify what exactly it is written inside it. All right, the next part that you're seeing here, they are asking where you want to use this component. All right, for example, you want to use this component in a tab. That means here somewhere you want to create it as a tab. Second is you want to create a lightning page. Okay, I will talk about lightning page when we reach to that point, but consider this is a page. All right, the next is the lightning record page. That means whatever the component that you're writing, it has some ID over it. For example, if I open the opportunity, I have opened this opportunity page. Here ID is mentioned, right? So that means if your component is having any ID, for example, I want to create it for doing something that needs ID. In that case, I need to use this one. The second one is for the external sites, that means the communities, the digital sites. We will talk about this. And next one, the last one, which is the buttons. Quick action means button. If you want to use this component in a button, for example, you want to use a component to create a button, then you need to check this option. So as of now, I'm checking these two options. I want to use it as a tab and I want to use it as a page. Okay, let's submit it. The moment you submit, you will see it is create two things. One is this, which is the component bundle. Second is the component. All right, so let's pause here and let's talk about the developer console, like how you gonna help, how it will help you. Okay, so see, developer console has been majorly four parts. One is this, that one. So what is this? This is your controlling part. That means what initially what you want to look, you need to go here. For example, we have selected this file because we want to create a new component. Similar ways, there are other tools as well. Like if you want to use your debugging, you can go here. If you want to test something, it will go there. We will talk about this thing in detail. Okay. As of now, consider this is your controller where you can, initially you can select it. The second is this area. This area is where you write your code. Like we are writing the code. So this is the main area where we write our codes. Now this part, this is for the lightning the aura component. This is the bundle, your lightning bundle, where all those lightning tags and components are there, like the component, the controller, helper, style, documentation. We will talk about this. Okay. So this is that part. Now the last part, which is shown here, this is the for checking the logs, whether you are doing a test, running a query, all those things. All right. So this is how it is mentioned. So as of now, just imagine you need to, if you need to create a new component, you need to go here. Once you create, it will open this page. This is a block where you write your code, and this is the block where you are going to control it. All right. Okay. Now let's quickly jump to the coding part. Now, if you see, we have the moment we create a component, it automatically add the implementation. Like what it implements, it is saying force apostable and flexi page all available for all page type. That means those two checkbox that I have checked, right? Remember, so those two checkbox automatically add the implement attributes. There are other as well. I will add the link in the description. You can follow those links to identify what all those other elements. Like we haven't checked the all options, right? So if you check all options, they will show here. But in our today's requirement, what we are actually going to do, we will try to call a list view. For example, a contact list view. If I go here and I go to the all contacts, we want to create this list view with the help of coding. Okay, so let's do it. For that, what there is like I said, there is a specific there are specific lightning tags. We are going to use one of them. What is that? We need to use lightning list view. Okay, this is the tag that we're going to use. All right, it expects some parameters like what is the object name, how many rows you want to return, and which specific list you want to return. For example, there are many list views, like all contacts. There's a birthday this month. There's a all my contact. There are so many, right? So based on that, which you want to show, so those are the parameters that we need to give. So for example, the first parameter that we use is the object name. Object API name. Okay, this is the first parameter that we are going to use. We need to use this, and then we need to use contact here. All right. Okay, next thing is how many record you want to load. Like initially, I think it is loading 20 records. So it is asking how many record you want to load. That is also configurable. Let's say we want to load 10 records only. Okay, the next thing it is asking you, what is the list name that you want to load. Okay, what is the list view you want to load. So let's quickly give the list name as well. List name. Okay, now this is the name. Let's quickly check what is the name of this list. I'm just going to the setup. Switching back to the classic, I will go to the contacts. This is the name, right? I can click on the edit. So this is the name. This is the API name that we want to use. We will use it here. All right, and then we close it. Okay, and we save it. The moment we save, it will save it. Now see guys, before we check it out, there's one thing that I want to clear. Since this object name that we have written, we have make sure that A is kept and N is kept. That means this thing is case sensitive. If I write it like this, it will not work. Okay, so make sure whatever parameter that you're going to give, it will be having a case sensitivity. Take care about that. Now it is saved. Now the question is how we can check it out where it is going. So for that, we need to place it somewhere, right? So for that, we need to go to the app builder, go to the setup. As the name says, app builder, that means whatever, if you want to use this somewhere, you need to, if you want to use it for your apps especially, you need to go for app builder. Let's quickly click here. I want to create another one. Okay, now pause it. It is asking you what type of page you want to create. You want to create an app page, you want to create a home page, you want to create a record page. So what is the difference here? Okay, let's see. If I click the if I click the app page, then whatever we are going to do, it will that component will able to list here in this app. Okay, not only this app, any app. That settings we will give where we want to use it. But if we select the app page, that means it will gonna look somewhere here. Okay, the next option is home page. Like it says, if we want to create this component only for a home page, which is this page, then we will go to select this option. The last option is the record page. That means it is for any detail page. Like I was saying, the opportunity detail. If I want to use this component somewhere here, I need to select this one. Okay, but our intention is to create an app page. So we will create here. To the next, it is asking you to the name of it. Let's give it a name. List view. Okay, next. Okay, now it is asking you what will be your layout. Okay, so see, layout is nothing but is a is I mean it will ask you how your component's gonna look like. For example, this, if I talk about this Salesforce, it has one layout on the top and second layout is this, right? So this is the one layout. This section is one layout, right? This one, and other is this. So this section is another layout. So how it is looking, it is looking like this, which is the header part, and this is our main component where this list view now all is mentioned. Okay, so if our requirement is that, we will select that part. Okay, now let's check what is our requirement. All right, our requirement is we want to use a 2-column layout, right? So let's quickly go and select a 2-column layout. Yeah, header and 2 result. We want to going to select this one. Why? Because why we want to select this? Because we want to create a page, like I was saying, where this is the header part and this is the section where this part will show the contact and this part will show the account. Okay, so that's why we will going to select this icon, and in the tablet it is going to look like this. In your phone it's going to look like this. All right, let's quickly create the next button. The moment you create the next button, this will open the app builder page. So I hope you guys are aware about this page. I have demonstrated this in the first video as well, but there we have used it to use a native functions, but here we're gonna create our own function. Okay, so now it will not show whatever we have created. It's not showing here. It is showing here. See, the list view is showing here. Why? Even the list view that we have created is showing. The reason why it is showing, because we have implemented this flexi page available for all page type. Okay, if you remove this, then this page will not gonna look here. Okay, so let's drag this component here. Now you can see it is loading the contact list view. Okay, but this is one of the advantage of using Lightning. Whatever you're doing, like I have created this component, I can do the unit testing before enabling it as well. Okay, but in this is not exactly in VF pages. We need to first create the VF page and then we need to check it. But here we can do the coding and we can verify how it is looking here. Okay, so let's quickly save it. Now, the moment initially when you create a new page, it will ask you, do you want to activate it? It is asking you want to activate it. Okay, we are done with the layout. So click on activate. Once you do the activation, you can see there are three options in the here. One is the this is the page setting, where you do the settings, where you want to like I want to add a space here, I want to change the icon, I want to give it this icon. So those level settings we can do here. We can also say if we want to enable it for all users or only for the administrator. So keep it default. We want to enable it for all users. Second is the lightning experience. That means where you want to view that list view. For example, we want to view this list view in the sales application, and in the sales application I want to view it before opportunity. Okay, that is here, before opportunity. Okay, so I will place it here and I will save it. Once we save, we just need to go back and refresh this page. Now see, the list view is here. Just click here and you will see the list view is mentioned, and this is our component that we have created. Okay, now you can now you can see when we create the app page, it was asking us what will be your layout. So we have selected the two column layout, where the first one is the header and this one is the contact and this one is the account. So see, this is that part, this header is that part, and this blank is the contact that we gonna create soon. Okay, so this is how if you want to use based on your uh, uh, uses, you can select which type of layout you want to use. Okay, let's quickly close it. And yeah, this is how our page is looking. So initially we have, let's quickly go to the here. So see what we have given. We have given 10 records, so it is loading 10 record in one go. We can click on load more, it will again going to fetch next 10 records. Okay, the next thing that we have given is the name of the account, what type of account you want to, what type of the list view want to look. So we want to look as all accounts, so this is mentioned here. And what is the object name, this is here. Okay, so now let's jump to the final part of the today's video, like how we can use, for example, your requirement is this is the contact and you want to create it for account as well. So one way is that you can copy this and create another component where you can just change the name to account. You can also change the list name to accounts, all accounts, and then you need to go to the app builder and find a component and drag it here. So this is the one way, right? But being a Salesforce developer, all you know, we need to use the best practices. We need to avoid using the same code, right? We need to set it dynamically. There is an option in Salesforce for that. Let's explore that part. So let's identify, whenever you work on the optimization, that first you just identify what are the hard coding that you have done. So what are the hard coding that we have done in this component? We have hard coded the object name. We have hard coded the how many rows we want to see. We have hard coded the list view name. So what if we make an attribute and then dynamically set this attribute, right? We can do that, right? So in Salesforce we have option for it. Let's see how we can do that. We need to create an attribute. This is the way where how we can create an attribute. This is the tag, and then we need to give it a cast, like what is the type of this attribute. In our case, if I want to create it for an object, I will use a string. Okay, the next thing is, what is the name of this attribute? Let's say we want to give it a object name. Okay, and what is the default value? So if you work on Apex, you can relate it when we declare a variable. Like for example, if we want to create a string, we just use string s is equal to abc, right? This is the way how we define the attribute in Apex, and this is the way how we define it in the Aura. This string we are using here, this s is the name of the object, and this abc is your default value, and this is the way you call it. This Aura attribute is nothing but the way you call it. The Salesforce is identify, okay, this is this. Okay, clear? All right. Let's quickly go and give it a default value. Let's give it a contact as a default value. Okay. Close this stack. The next we will use the same for the all accounts. Okay. And we will call it a list view. List view name. Okay. Save it. Now we have created the attribute. Now how we can replace this hard-coded value with the attribute is we need to first copy the name of the attribute, and then we need to go to that variable. We need to use curly brackets apostrophe v dot name of your attribute. Okay, this is the syntax. We need to use curly brackets, we need to use this mark, then we need to use v dot, and we need to name the of the attribute. So this v is the what is this? This is the syntax which says this is a variable. Okay. The next is we have created one for that as well. So let's quickly do the same thing. V dot this and save it. Okay, it is saved. Now let's quickly go to our builder and refresh this page. We have not changed anything on the UI, so it is working as expected. I just refresh so that we can verify our component is not throwing any error. If there is any error, that for example, if I do this and I save it, and if I refresh this part here, you will see it will not gonna reflect anything. Why? Because there is no list name that is with this name. So this way, if you do any changes, just go here and refresh it. We can also refresh this page, but first, if we refresh this page, it will load. It will take some time to load. Second, it will sometimes return you the cache. So you will not verify whether it is correct or not. So better way to go here and then refresh. All right. Okay. So we have defined a attribute, we have changed the labels, and we have used it. Now the next question is how we can still, you can see we have hard coded this value, right? How we can make it dynamic, how we can ask user to put something here. Okay, so for that, if you look here in our bundle, there is an option called design. Okay, so this design is used for that purpose only. Getting it? Okay, so just click here. The moment you click, it will open this tab. Let's quickly close it. The moment you enter, it will open the list view here. And now you need to write the name. Let's quickly do it. See, before we start working on the design, I want to tell you whatever the element that you use. For example, I'm using the attribute here, object name. We need to use the same attribute there as well. Click here. Now here we are using everything with the name Aura, and here we will use the name design. Okay, and then we need to use semicolon and need to write attribute. Okay, again we need to give it a name. Here one thing that I want to highlight, whatever name you given here, you need to use the same name here as well. For example, I have given an object name here, I will use the same object name if we want to dynamically pass this value. Okay, we also need to give a label. I will tell you where we can see this label. Just bear with me. Just make sure what I'm doing here. I'm just giving a label. We gonna call it your object name. All right. Let's close it. And again, we need to create another one here. And like I said, we need to use the same name. So I'm using the same name. Your list view. List view name. Okay. Let's save it. Quick recap what we have done. We want to make our application dynamic, so all those hard coding values that we have given, we want to make it dynamic. How we can do it? First, we need to define attributes in the Aura side. Then we need to go to the design and we need to use the same attributes, but we need to change it the Aura with design element. Okay. Now you may ask, still we haven't passed the dynamic value, right? Where we can do that? We can do that from the app builder. Let's quickly refresh this page. The moment you refresh this page, let me actually refresh it. Okay, see, the moment you refresh this page and check those things, we have defined the your object name, your list view name, and now those things are here. Okay, we have used it for contact. The default value it automatically taken. The default value it automatically taken here as well. We can change it to account, and we can change it to all accounts. Now see, now our same component is now loading the account information. Okay, this is the beauty. And see, we also have a help text here. Let me quickly show you how we can use the help text. For example, you have built this, and like I said, if someone else in your team want to use it and they're not sure what this mean is, you can give it a help text. There is a tag for it, the description. You can use this description, and you can add anything here. For example, this is used to pass the object name. Okay, same description you can use there as well. We recognize this used to pass the list view name. Save it. Okay, now come back to the page, refresh it. Okay, see guys, you can see this is mentioning here, this is used to pass the object API name, and you can see this is used to pass the view API name. So this way you can add the description and your users can easily verify what is that. Now let's use, since our requirement is we want to use this right left section for contact and right for the account, so we need to again drag the same component here, and now we can change the name. Okay, and now we can make it all accounts. Okay, and now we need to save it. Once we verify everything is looking fine, now we can go to the main page and refresh it. Now you guys can see we have created our first lightning component, and this first lightning component, it is the left part is showing the all contact information and the right part is showing the all account information. And we can also load those values and it will fetch the other information. I think account is only having 12 records, so it load the 12 records. I hope this video is help you in terms of lightning components. In the further sessions, what I will do is we will try to create more project friendly apps. Maybe we will try to create an app where I will ask you to search something, maybe account name you need to search once, and there will be a search button. Once you hit the search button, it will show all the accounts with a start with this name. Okay, it will gonna to show you the list. We will check all those demos in the further sessions, so please bear with that. All right, thanks for viewing that.